Hello and welcome back to the Dota 2 Asian Championships 2015 here on HeflaTV. This is going to be game 2 of a best of 2 series between Mineski and Dream Gaming. Hopefully we're going to get loaded in here pretty shortly, but outside of that, your casters today are going to be Grandis Feet, me, and I'm going to be joined again by Mr. Blackadder.
We are in for the long haul tonight, and I suppose we can use this moment where the players are loading in just to address a mic issue. How do I sound now, Grandis?
Yeah, that sounds actually a lot better.
I'm guessing someone touched my mic. I will find whoever the culprit is and make sure they suffer an agonizing death.
Well, while you're hunting them down, Owen has managed to load into the game, so we should get unpaused here pretty shortly, and hopefully into the draft, but I suppose we can take this time to talk a little bit about Game 1. Looked really close, and there was potential for Dream Gaming to make a comeback, but in the end they just weren't able to do it. K's Doom found a couple of really sketchy initiations, really good Yule Scepter play coming out from Oa, finding good jumps onto the Doom, and that refresher, even though in theory it would be really sick to find the initiates, he really wasn't able to get off the second Doom reliably throughout the entire game. BKB probably would have been better.
Yeah, a BKB at any point on that Doom would have had such a huge impact. I mean, you consider every single fight, Yule's, Ice Path, Macropire, Call. If he's not dead already, then in comes Gyrocopter and causes all manner of hell. But in the long run of that first game, there was potential for Dream Gaming to come back into that one. The BKB would have helped, certainly. The other thing they really needed to do was address the problem of Jay farming. Now, we had our doubts slightly about Jay's item build, considering he lacked the BKB for the first 40 minutes of the game. However, we should not doubt Jay. We just cannot doubt Jay in this game. We have to go with whatever he decides to build.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another thing that they also need to address is that their Ember Spirit just wasn't able to find any farm at all, which is quite honestly super surprising. He played a very aggressive roaming Ember, which is fine, but you can't sacrifice your farming in order to do so. If their Ember Spirit had like a Daedalus Battle Fury on top of what he already had, maybe a BKB of his own, things could have gone a lot differently for them, but in the end it was pretty much just K against the world, and K without BKB didn't win. But enough of Game 1, we're into Game 2 here, and we're going to start things off with the Vengeful Spirit, your 4GB Mineski.
Well, with that Vengeful Spirit, we're looking for those potential swaps once again. I would still love to see the Puck tonight. I have been advocating for Puck in almost every game, and I would love to finally get a game with it. But we will see the Viper once more in this time in Dream Gaming's hands. So I'm wondering how much they can accomplish with this and what item build we're going to see in this one.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't feel like the Viper really did much outside of the early laning stage, shooting around for that double kill and always offering the mech for his team. It was kind of a nice utility, but I think you could have gone for something else to fill that role. I don't know, it still worked out nicely for them. Let's see how it works out for Dream, I think is a fair assumption. Scarlet Mage is still left inside the pool, and if Dream Gaming don't go for it, it is open for Mineski to snag, and it's probably one of the heroes that they're at least considering.
Yeah, I could see that. And to be honest, we see an IO. Oh.
Yeah, definitely very popular in the Western scene and in the European scene in particular, but really haven't seen very much of the IO. But a hero that we have seen quite a lot of today is the Brewmaster, and that's going to be the second pickup from Mineski.
Well, I suppose the IO is all well and good with relocates if you can get something that can really work with it. I mean, one of my personal favorites is Chaos Knight. Earthshaker can work, you know, the general IO combo heroes. But IO's weakness is his lack of armor. And right now, there's already negative armor from the Vengeful Spirit on the field and guaranteed crits out of Brewmaster. So IO will have to be very careful in this one. And I'm honestly fearful for IO's life, depending on what he's paired with.
Definitely. Well, I don't think it really is going to matter what's banned out against them, since the Ember Spirit and Axe, although they would be nice pickups for Dream, not the usual IO partners. Pretty much whatever IO wants to be partnered with. I think you meant to mute your mic there, but either way.
Did you guys just hear me pouring tea?
Yes.
Okay, someone really did touch my mic. I'll need to reconfigure that after. You shouldn't be able to hear me pouring tea.
No worries. Either way, Dream Gaming are going to have their choice of whatever they want to partner up with this IO. Phantom Assassin, Bristleback, or some that come to mind. The ever classic Tiny is also there, and probably the most stable thing to pick up for their team. Right now, I think that's probably the safest way to go about this draft and just secure that IO partner right here.
As you that any better, you shouldn't be able to hear things now. I'm tweaking the gain slightly as we go, but I do wonder what the IO partner is going to be. We do see a ban out on the usual suspects. This time we get a ban on the axe. About damn time. Aye, that's necessary. We've seen axe
Oh dear.
and what?
You just cut out there. Hopefully Skype holds. Things are... It's interesting. Okay, for Dream, they're gonna snag up the Scarith Mage, and it's a nice pickup up against the Brewmaster. Have an instant silence and a way to burst him down as well. Though it is going to delay the IO partner for later on, it's still definitely a solid option.
Oh, I've just lost... What the hell is going on? What the hell's done that? Have I gone and lost power to my screen?
Okay.
Everything going wrong. Yeah, so I lost power to my screen for a second. Everything going wrong. But someone's been touching my rig. Someone's playing a practical joke on me. This just feels wrong. Someone's defiled my work.
It's a mess. Either way, hopefully Black's going to be able to sort out his stuff. For Mineski here, they have a really solid opener that they can build on top of, although it doesn't necessarily lend them towards any direction in particular. They have a lot of different opportunities to exploit, so right now they could just get one of their supports and be safe, maybe look towards an offlaner, and there's still plenty left in the pool. Although the usual suspects of the Batrider and Tidehunter have been banned, you have Centaur and Nature's Prophet, or whatever they want to go for Oa, or even the Jakiro. Did quite a lot of work last game, and I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it again.
A Jakiro could work out quite nicely. I mean, it's very good in terms of pushing down towers. It's good against good right-clicking carry since it slows their attack speed down quite horrendously. However, the thing with the Jakiro, the cast animations are his downfall. Early Yules can fix this, and if a Jakiro is punished heavily enough, which an IO plus partner can do, the Jakiro won't have anywhere near as an impact as last game. I mean, Mineski, I don't think they're going to get away with a Jakiro twice in a row, for example.
Fair enough. Well, outside of that, if they want to pick up another support and are anticipating an IO combination, they could go for a Disruptor, but they will go for some big AoE control, but not the Disruptor I was about to mention. It's going to be a Faceless Void for them, and although the Brewmaster and Vengeful Spirit don't combo particularly well with the Void, they still have plenty of other picks to throw damage into the Chronosphere.
Well, doing a good amount of damage into Chrono, Witch Doctor, I think. Yeah, we're agreed.
Yeah, Witch Doctor.
Could be
Sounds
looking for that, and there's the Tiny. There's your IO combination. So we could be looking at Rat, IO, Tiny, or we could just be looking at really good heavy team fight. And I would prefer good heavy team fight personally. It's something I've always preferred.
For the last pick for Dream Gaming, it kind of feels like Centaur is probably on the table for them. Just any way that they can open up fights with some sort of offlaner. Ideally, that would be a Batrider. Secondarily, Tidehunter to that one, but we'll just have to see. For Mineski, it's probably going to be an offlane utility, Faceless Void, and Lich is going to be the next pickup. Your mic is doing some really funky stuff, I must say.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm muting my mic for a second.
Hopefully we'll be able to get that all sorted out. But the next pickup for Mineski is going to be a Lich. It really does kind of feel like they're going to go for an offlane Faceless Void, maybe transition him later on into some sort of damage, but maybe pick up a different safe laner for them. There's just really not anything that really begs it fits into Mineski's lineup that goes into the offlane. For the safe lane farmer, however, an Invoker might be a pretty decent choice for them. Just a lot of damage coming out from an Exhort Invoker. Decent amount of minus armor with the Forge Spirits onto heroes, and can really punish that IO as well as Tiny. Both heroes really desperately need some sort of armor sustain. Last couple bans coming out, Broodmother is going to receive some love from Mineski, and Morphling going to be taken out by Dream, expecting the offlane Faceless Void as well, which is definitely something to keep in mind. Even though if they went for the Morphling, it wouldn't have much follow-up into the Chronosphere, it still would be pretty decent. Just to have more ways that they could go about going into the late game.
Right. With any luck, everything is back reset. I have a little marker on the back of my mic that I've just set it back to. I should be good. Is this good quality, Grandis?
Yes, yes it is.
When I find out who touched my mic, I will cut their fingers off. You
Poor
just
fingers.
don't do that.
Last
And we
pick.
get,
Yeah.
we get a Timber for the last pick. I mean, we're looking for good aggression right now. Timbersaur also works quite well with an IO, but this level of power, I mean, Mystic Flare, Tiny, Avalanche, Toss, Timbersaw, all the pure damage in the world, Viper for slows and control. My only worry with this lineup is the only stun they have is Tiny's Avalanche.
Yeah, I think Mineski could get away with like a really greedy last pick here and maybe go for like a Weaver and just abuse the fact that they don't have a lot of lockdown for that little bug. The Scarlet Mage Silence would be their best tool, of course, but he doesn't really care much about the Viper's slows, and getting off time-lapse would be pretty darn reliable, even though the burst damage is pretty immense. I think he could avoid a decent amount of it, just running out of the Mystic Flare and through Chakrams and what have you.
Yeah, I'd be agreed on that one. I mean, being able to run away from the lineup of Dream Gaming feels like the right call, although running away from a Timbersaw, not exactly the easiest feat. Still, evasive kiting styles might be the idea here, and that's a Troll Warlord. That throws a lot of damage into a Chronosphere, actually. Considering Faceless Void, the more attacks he gets within the Chronosphere, the more damage he's going to do. That's a scary amount of synergy right there, and I like this Troll Warlord. We've been seeing more Troll Warlord lately, and Troll is a fun hero.
A very man-fight heavy hero, and definitely something that's up your alley. We'll just have to see how that all works out for them, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting game nonetheless. Looks like we're for a treat. I don't know. I'm not sure if Dream Gaming really are going to be able to get away with this lineup with such little hard lockdown. They rely pretty much entirely, as you said, on the Avalanche and Toss to actually keep targets in place. Mineski might just be able to run interference. The Brewmaster splitting up their attention with his ultimate, and then Faceless Void and Troll Warlord can wreak havoc.
Yeah, I completely agree to that. And Havoc I'd like to see in this game. There's a lot of potential for fights, a lot of potential for combinations and synergy. But as everyone loads in the game, touch wood, Mineski won't have any connection issues. Now, we're looking to just get a good fight-heavy game, and that's ominous. Now we've lost Jay as well. Hopefully those two will be able to get back online, but I suppose we should get the formalities out of the way, Grandis.
Definitely. Well, I'll go ahead and introduce the dire side of the map since they're the ones that are all loaded in. K going to be playing on the Viper with Demons, handling the IO, currently invisible on my screen. We're going to have Green playing on the Timbersaw. Unfortunately, I can't read his name. Wave is going to be playing on the Scarlet Mage, although I can't actually click on his hero. No. Wave is going to be playing on the Tiny, although I can't actually click on his hero. Kira is going to be playing on the Scarlet Mage. Excuse me.
And of course, on the flip side of that coin, for Mineski, we do have Jay handling the Void. There will be no doubts of his faith in this game. We have Secret playing the Troll Warlord. We'll have R reprising his role from game number 1 on that Vengeful Spirit. We have Yamaguchi on the Brewmaster, going to most likely be handling the offlane in this case, I believe. And finally, we will have Oa, who will be handling... last hero was... help me out here.
Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. Oh dear. Lich.
Lich, yes, we do have Oa handling the Lich. I suppose this is what we get when we've been casting for God knows how many hours since 4 a.m. English time.
Well, it's currently 2 a.m. here in the central United States, so it's also not working well for me either, but we're more than happy to stay up and hopefully have some good Dota and keep us entertained, people. Let's not have just a 70-minute farm fest, please.
That would be an absolute nightmare for me right now. But nonetheless, we are hoping for a good matchup, and with these teams, we've seen what they can deliver in game number 1. We can get fight heavy, and oh no, here we go again. Please, let's be a bit merciful, RNG Lord. Give them their connections back.
Absolutely. Well... Yep, looks like everybody's connecting back into this game, and Gs are coming out, so hopefully Mineski aren't going to have any major issues, at least this time around. Okay, so we are going to get all of these heroes loaded out. Let's see how this all shakes down. Looks like we're going to have an offlane Brewmaster opening up with, oh my goodness, we're going to have Wait coming out from Yamaguchi.
I suppose we're just going to have to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Got a problem.
Mineski have had connection issues to the Chinese Perfect World servers, so we're going to have to bear with it, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, I'm wondering, guys, who do you reckon is going to win this game? Put your bets down in chat. I want to get an idea of a consensus from you guys. Who do you think will win, Mineski or DG? As for you, Grandis, you know what I'm going to ask you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really feeling Mineski's draft. I think it's just all around a lot more solid. They have good ways to take objectives with the Troll Warlord, bashing down those towers afterwards. Their team fighting potential is good. They have a good Roche lineup. Honestly, it doesn't really feel like there's anything missing. DG are going to have to rely very heavily on split push, and honestly, that's not something you want to be thinking about from the get-go.
Okay, I can understand that. It's a very hard one for me to say which I would prefer, since DG have themselves a Timbersaw. I have seen some marvelous Timbersaw, mainly at a massacre in the last few days. And Timbersaw is just one of those heroes that gets in your face. He does a hell of a lot of damage considering pure almost everything. But on the flip side of the coin, as always, there's a Troll Warlord. Troll Warlord is the same. He gets in your face, he applies mischance, he's got good amounts of damage, he helps his team out with the battle trance, and, well, I've always had a thing for Fury kinds of gameplay, dual-wield kinds of heroes. I mean, Fury Warrior, for example, for me personally, but Timbersaw versus Troll, man, it's a hard one. I'm going to have to say Mineski. I really am. Just Troll Warlord, man.
Fair enough. I'm always hoping that we get to see some godly Timbersaw play, and my hopes are high. I'm not sure how high, though. For now, he is going to be helped out by demons. Looks like they're going to utilize the extra movement speed from Tether to get the ward out faster into the offlane, but outside of that, I expect the IO to swing mid to help out Wave.
Well, we'll hopefully see, and I really hope we can get the connection issues sorted. I mean, it would be very, very unpleasant to have connection issues just cause so many problems. But still, I suppose let's take a quick look at these heroes and what they are packing. We've got plenty of wards coming out. We've got on the off lane who's carrying the extra wards. We've got Io carrying a sentry and a observer. He's also not spent any gold. Io saving for a bottle, I should think.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's fairly standard just to run with no regen on the IO and get the bottle ASAP, since it is just so useful to have on that hero.
Well, a bottle on him, is he really going to be backing up the Timbersaw lane, you reckon? Or is he just going down there to ward? You'd think he'd be backing up the Timbersaw on lane just with feeding him infinite mana.
It could be useful. I think he'll be better served partnering up with the Tiny. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish very much with the Timbersaw. It could all change at the top of the hat. I'm not exactly sure where they throw demons.
Well, I suppose that's the thing with the Wisp. He can go anywhere and do anything. He can support any lane. He can be aggressive across the map with spirits. He can be defensive with tether and healing. I suppose it's a underutilized hero in some ways. I mean, it has so much potential, but only a few teams pick it up who are specialized with it. I mean, Secret, for example, really do play a good Wisp. Hell, No Tail now, I suppose, has gone over to Team... No Tail did go to Tinker, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Whatever team No Tail joined have just gained one insane Wisp player, is the point I was trying to make. And Wisp, on its own, can accomplish a good amount with, hell, with the spirits and overcharge is such a powerful thing for carries. I mean, Tiny is going to be an overcharge target throughout this game. There's also heroes like CK who gain so much with that attack speed bonus of overcharge. And, well, before we even mention the attack speed overcharge, there's a damage reduction as well, which is something to always keep in mind.
Definitely. Well, we'll have to see how they're going to utilize it. For now, they did just use demons to drop the wards, and then they're going to swing him back. Partnered up with the Tiny at the hip, and I think this is how things are going to stay. For Mineski, they'll do a similar move, although this one's going to be with more manpower at the very least. They'll block the large pole camp and going to deny that pull through and get some lane as well as vision over the sport rotations.
I do like the fact that they're destroying certain trees in the jungle so they can stack and move around the jungle quicker. I mean, it's just going to help out with the terms of efficiency. And the more efficient you can be, as a couple of the carry pros will say, efficiency is king, be it by farming, be it by rotation in ganks. If you're efficient with your time, you're inclined to win. So just being able to get that little bit of extra value out of their jungle by destroying the certain trees and dewarding as well, freeing up that large pool camp.
Definitely. Well, let's see how these lanes are going to shake down. Actually, it's a mid-faceless void. Coming out from Mineski, I was expecting Troll to take up the helm inside the mid lane. It's not a great lane for either of the heroes in mid versus the Viper, but I think Troll would have a better time than the Faceless Void. Any thoughts?
Well, part of me wants to completely agree with you. I think Troll would have a better time because he can be ranged and can try to get whatever he wants, but this is Jay in the mid lane, and we did say we're not going to doubt Jay no matter what he does in this game, so I can't go against what I said previously. Speaking of the Troll, though, Secret taking a good amount of damage from Kia as well as our Timbersaw player here. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce this name. I cannot even read this name. So unless any of you know what this stands for, we're just going to have to go with Timbersaw for now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they did level up the concussive shot first, which is pretty interesting. It allowed them to get a couple more hits into the Troll. Now he has level 2 and that blind chance coming out from the melee axes. It's going to be a lot harder for them to harass him, but still, the Skirmishes should have a pretty free time in the lane. For the off lane, Brewmaster versus Lich, or Brewmaster Lich versus the IO Tiny, things should also be going pretty evenly, although the constant denial coming out from O is going to be a nuisance for DG to work with. I think by default, DG are winning 2 out of 3 of these lanes. Timok in mid, very aggressive coming out from Jay. Interesting, doesn't actually accomplish much of anything.
Well, I suppose for Jay it's a case of gets whatever CS he can, but you're against a Viper who can just orb walk you. This is going to be a matchup that once it hits level 4 or 5, Jay is going to have a very hard time. Unless he's got high ground advantage, but then again, we could be looking at a kill right now onto Oa. The tether does cut through Oa, and if he gets blocked here into the Tiny, that's going to be a kill. The avalanche is there, toss, and dead. That's first blood going the way of Wave.
Demons with that haste room blocking with an IO is absolutely hilarious now that you don't actually have to turn to move anywhere. You're just zigzagging everywhere. There's really not much of a chance for the Lich in that position, and Demons just skirting around everywhere, getting that full bottle heal. It's going to be a pretty easy first blood for Dream Gaming, and a very important one at that, giving the way of Tiny. He's going to need a clap for his trouble up towards the top lane, but things are looking up for them. Down towards bottom, they have just settled down to dual lanes as they rotate in R as well, and things are looking pretty passive. Kills are going to rely more on people making missteps than actual rotations. And, well, as I say that, there's actually a smoke from Lich, and not something that I'd personally expect as the Viper, so maybe, just maybe, it'll work.
Well, a good slow onto K might be enough for Jay to get enough bashes. Who knows? There's a time walk forward. That's going to be one slow. The blast as well, Frost Blast. Is it going to be enough? One more time lock proc will get the kill, and a good kill on the Viper. Jay picks it up. That's quite the huge advantage for a Faceless Void.
It definitely is. Nobody expects that Lich gank, so it is going to pay off for them. Viper dying as well. It's going to slow down his lane, and really this Faceless Void probably shouldn't be getting as much as he is in this mid. And Jay is doing just fine. 2-1-2's the build, and he is going to be ferrying out some regen. Now with the bottle running, he's going to be sustained throughout the entirety of this. Timbersaw's actually going to fall in the bottom lane as they continue to look for a kill onto Secret. The right click from the Troll is going to kill off one, and that's going to be 2 for on the bottom lane as Mineski cash out big.
Quite the advantage there for Secret, and just that kind of advantage on a Troll can snowball so heavily. I'm expecting maybe a full Bassi now, a full Aquila now even. He's already got the Wraith Band, which would not go amiss at all, and he's going to get himself, yeah, there's the full Aquila as well as a salve, so he's going to heal back up and just look to control this lane.
Looking for the combo up towards top. Toss back onto the IOs. Yamaguchi is forced to run the other way. They should be able to get the wraparound and the kill with the avalanche, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, continue your thought.
I'm completely distracted. The rotation from Wave there with Demons. If Demons plays an IO that is this strong, this is going to be quite the show. I believe it was said by one of the players in the all chat actually that Demons plays an insane Wisp. So if we get good Wisp play, I think we're all happy in the long run. Wisp is such a fun hero to watch played well.
Definitely. Well, down towards bottom, we might be in for some more action, but this is the kind of hero that Troll is, where you can just take those brawls, and it's something that pretty much caught DG off guard. Maybe he got a lucky bash here there. Honestly, I didn't see any of it. But it's still going to work out for them. The Tiny IO combination is currently pretty low. It's going to be a drums build after phase for the Tiny. A little bit of a deviation from the norm going for the phase, but if you are able to play aggressively and look for those avalanche toss kills, it can work to your favor very much so.
Oh, mathematically, the way phase versus treads play out, treads is more of a mid to late game pair of boots, whereas phase gives you such an early game edge. 24 damage is a lot more than meets the eye.
Yeah, definitely. For Tiny, it is a little bit different since he just benefits
DG,
from...
oh, Timbersaw could be in a lot of trouble, does eat a magic missile, and now Secret just going to town. One more right click.
In the meantime, Chronosphere in mid at the same time as that kill down towards bottom. They look for K to get the bash, but the Faceless Void dies with a little bit more damage coming out from Kira, and they kill up top as well. Are you kidding me? Everybody's just going to town at the same time. It's going to be Tiny, the winner up towards top. Mid lane, it's going to be the Viper, and bottom lane, it's going to be the Troll.
Well, what more could we want? Action across all lanes all the time. We're at a kill and a half a minute right now, and I think the players are going to start to ramp it up.
Absolutely. Well, for Troll, he's actually going to pick up a Ring of Health. I think this is just going to be sold immediately. Yeah, he's just going to be doing the cheeky, get the extra regen over at the side. So that's not actually going to be built in anything. Just some more efficiency for him. Phase boost up top into the avalanche dots onto Yamaguchi. Going to drop him incredibly low. They have some Wisp Orbs, but the crit going to bring down that poor Wisp. And now Wave going to be split upon. This should be a pretty easy kill onto the Tiny. Biting off a little bit more than they could chew. Underestimating the tankiness of the Brewmaster. Will cycle him up. Purge him down. That Cyclone probably did nothing, if anything. They will be able to bring him down, and it actually delays so that the two supports get some experience. So I suppose that Cyclone ends up working out in a double kill for Yamaguchi.
This is what I was saying about the IO. Has zero armor. Yamaguchi can just play so heavily on that fact. And again, Tiny, a hero with very low armor to start with. In fact, he's only got one right now, and that's from stats alone. This is the worry when you've got net zero armor heroes. Heroes that have guaranteed crit. Bounty Hunter and Brewmaster. It's quite the scary thing to always keep in mind.
Definitely. Well, Venge going to be going in for some deep wards, going to catch us some vision in mid, as well as up towards top. It looks like they are privy to the fact that the ward has been dropped. The Tiny is going to ping that one out, so it's probably not going to be lasting for much longer. Jace Chronosphere is coming off of cooldown in about
Secret.
20 seconds or so.
Oh, Battle Trance going for it. He tries to with the last few right clicks, but the Timbersaw will chain away. Did not want to risk getting caught.
Yeah, that is going to keep him alive. If you don't get the bash there, getting that kill is pretty difficult since you don't have any further lockdown. Double damage rune with some tether help coming out from the IO. This is going to heal up the Timbersaw and secure the DD for the IO as well, and a haste rune too. They're going to be able to find absolutely everything one could want. They're going to get a full heal for both of them, and now looking for the action in the mid lane. Time walk forward by the Faceless Void. Chronosphere catches out too onto both Wave as well as onto K. They try to focus down the Tiny. The damage just isn't there. He doesn't get enough bashes. Battle Trance was used a little too late. They'll be able to toss down the Faceless Void as well as the Brewmaster. Now looking for the Chakram Slow onto OO is going to be dropped down as well. 3-0 in the favor of DG.
Indeed, a resurgence of force from Dream Gaming, and that all came down to a slight misplacement on the Chronosphere. The Brewmaster couldn't get a Thunderclap off or right-click away at the Chrono target, unfortunately, and if he could, that would have been an easy turnaround without the avalanche after the Chronosphere. But it seems mid-tier 1 will be the order of business here for Dream Gaming, and if they can get this, it's going to give them such an edge, but they're going to go straight onto Wave. If they can bring down the Tiny, that's going to be huge. The Viper did get the kill on the tower. K going to clean that one up quite nicely. Yamaguchi going to start trading blows with the Timber, but will take a fall to Demon's IO. Now, well, in comes the Void once more. Jay trying to finish off Wave, but can't quite manage to do so. Instead, will turn on to Kia. Start bashing away. Doesn't get the procs. Where's the time locks? Won't matter. We'll get him anyway. Now they need to bring down Wave. The chase is there. Does Jay have a time walk? In 1 second, 0. Can he find him? He hits him, but he doesn't quite get it. But the slow is there anyway, and Wave will fall to Jay. But where is everyone else in the fight? Everyone else is scattered. Demon's going to be rotating up to the top, and the Timbersaw back in the base.
It's going to be 2 for 4 in the favor of Mineski this time around. In a pretty big turnaround for them. Everybody's so low after just a handful of spells thrown out from Mineski. We have yet to see the Lich Ultimate actually come into play, but still. Dream Gaming biting off a little bit more than they could chew. They do get the tier 1 tower for their trouble, but losing a lot more than they bargained for.
What?
What?
He just chain frosted stacked camps.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know what to say to that, considering synergy with Chronosphere.
I mean, okay, so... Yeah. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to matter, though, because I don't think they're going to be fighting in the next 90 seconds. So I think it's just calculated that he's going to put that on cooldown. And I suppose that DG are going to expect that it's not been used. I don't like it. For a macro pyre, when you can actually ensure that you kill the entire stack by yourself, it's okay, but I think just waiting for the Frostbust would have been better. Meantime, up towards top, we have a Chronosphere available for Che, so he's going to be completely
Bot lane.
fine.
Oh, in comes the relocate. They're going to go straight on to R. He cannot escape this. That's a full 5-man rotation for a Vengeful Spirit, and now what will be a bottom tier 1. What was that you said about not fighting within 90 seconds?
Well, I didn't say they wouldn't fight within 90 seconds. Or, I probably said they wouldn't fight within 90 seconds, but Oa's not going to fight within 90 seconds. He's going up towards top, and they'll just find a pretty easy pick off onto the Vengeful Spirit. The tier 1 tower after the fact. They find the IO on the retreating end. Yamaguchi trying to scare this onto demons. A clap into a crit, or crit into a clap, that works too. You should be able to run him down. No, the tether the creeps and Urn Charge going to keep the IOs safe, so that's going to be the end of that. Tier 1 tower has already fallen down towards bottom. Inside the trees, Secret is looking for a wraparound potentially if they get some more backup, but that backup needs to come, like, now. They're going for a tier 1 tower, but their tier 2 might be falling a little bit too fast.
And that is quite the risk here. A tier 1 for a tier 2 isn't exactly a favourable trade. And I'll just bring this up. Jägermeister actually brings up a very valid point in chat. If legacy keys are active, V is Frostblast, C is Chain Frost, so it could have been a misclick.
Yeah, that is definitely something to keep in mind. Venge is going to get spotted out. She threw out a wave, and now she's going to be eating a lot more. Bursted down incredibly fast. They look for the Chronosphere, going to catch out only one, but the Timber Chain into it. From the Timber Saw, they aren't able to focus down anybody inside it. There's the Chain Frost off of cooldown again from the Lich. They are going to look for the chains over the top. Mask of Madness activated on Jay. Might be his undoing. Do they have any further damage? They're relocating in the eye. Going to be able to get a solo kill onto the Faceless Void. Now Tethers up with the Viper. Going to be able to focus down Seeker at the time. He's losing his life in the sidelines to the split coming out from the Brewmaster, but they will be able to orb walk down. Oh my goodness. What a terrible time for a disconnect, but pretty much entirely screwed.
Yeah, I don't see Lich escaping this one, not in the slightest, but I have to admit that Wisp play coming out of Demons is insane. Realizes, oh, the Void's getting away, relocate alone, kills the Void, tethers to the Viper, helps kill the Troll. It's just beautiful to watch this. He is one hell of a Wisp.
It really is awesome. I'm seeing it on stream now, like, that's just so sick. Okay, we are going to have a reconnect coming out from the Venge. And this should be the end of Oa's life. I think the question that should be asked is whether or not the Brewmaster survives, or if he's able to do anything after the fact. So, let's see. Back into this fight, we're going to jump.
Well, I should think the Brewmaster should be able to escape this one. He's not going to be able to get any kills, so... Oh, no. Seems we're going to have another pause.
Oh, dear.
Now we've lost Jay. Unfortunate for Mineski with their connections. I suppose we just have to accept this and move on.
Yeah. There's not really anything else you can do.
Yeah. I don't know. Still, it's been quite the interesting series of games to see Jay up against K. I mean, these two have been brawling with each other quite nicely, and, well, the jokes write themselves with the Men in Black reference right there.
They definitely do. Well... Huh. So what's actually going to happen here? The Timbersaw is completely out of mana. He has 8 stick charges, probably not going to be able to contribute much, if anything at all. Maybe 1 Timber Chain over the top. The Brewmaster should be able to escape with the Earth Panda, so I think that's the end of the fight. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, he's just going to run out with the Earth Panda. He can't risk staying. He will die. I mean, sure, almost everyone is low mana. Thing is, you do have Kier on that Skywrath, who still has more than enough mana to actually have some spells cast. And you've got K there, who, well, it's a Viper. Do I really need to say any more than that? He has to run.
Yeah, there just really isn't anything. Okay. Well, at the very least, they let the Lich die before pausing again, I suppose.
I suppose.
I don't know. Don't think it matters at all. Net
No.
worth graph after that fight vastly in the favor of Dream Gaming. Before that, it was really even, but all it takes is one good engagement.
Indeed, it does, but was quite in favour of Mineski. Now it's down to even, so it's quite the show of force coming out of Dream Gaming in this case. And I honestly haven't seen Dream Gaming play before, but these guys are impressing me. I enjoy their style of Dota.
Yeah. Especially, in particular, this game, I think. Demon's playing really well on the IO.
Yeah, the IO play has been phenomenal, and just to see it played so well, it's a joy. I mean, this is why I love casting Dota, seeing heroes like IO played to a T, basically. It's part of the reason I love casting.
Yeah, definitely. So from here on out, I don't think they can actually go high ground. And it's probably just going to be DG completely falling back. Rinse and repeat. Tier 1 tower up top is still standing, and that's probably easy pickings for them. Roshan isn't the fastest, but might be available. Yeah, not exactly sure what the plan is from here on out, but hopefully we won't have to be guessing, because we do have Jay reconnecting now.
Touch wood, there'll be no more disconnect issues. And I think the plan here is wait for everyone to be alive for Mineski, then look to try to get a good fight with a good chrono into Chain Frost, into Battle Trance, into Carnage. That has got to be the order of business for Mineski. Without Chronosphere, they suffer so heavily. And there's the blink away by Yamaguchi, so he's going to be out and safe.
Yeah, TP away from the Skarath Mage. Io is out as well, so that's going to be about all she wrote with that last engagement. As we already talked about, it's really good for Dream Gaming. Really nice micro plays all around. They lose their Tiny, which is unfortunate, and he's really suffering because of it. Hasn't been able to pick up as much farm as maybe he'd like to. I mean, suffering is relative. He's 6'3" and 2. He could be a lot more, but he still has Phase Boots, Drums, and Point Booster.
Well, I should think for DG, we're looking for that Bloodstone very soon with the Timbersaw. Yeah, there we go. He's going to be building it into a Soul Booster now, and well, we're just looking for the Soul Ring and the recipe.
Yeah, which is very quick incoming, and this Timbersaw is going to be doing quite a lot of work from here on out. He's pretty much hit the point that you want to as a Timber. Getting your maxed out Timber Chain, getting the point to Chakram, you can't really ask for much more, and you're pretty much the one to dictate the pace of the game, or at least you want to be. For the Viper, Mechanism is up, and the tools are ready for DG to consistently take fights, and it looks like that's going to be the order of business for them.
Yep, it will be. And now I'm sort of wondering what we're going to see item progression-wise out of the rest of the team. We know the Bloodstone's coming up for the Timbersaw. For Wave, what's he starting to work on? He's got the Aghanims as his next item pickup. Demons. Demons has gone for the Soul Ring. He's got a Urn. He's got the Bottled Regen. I should think he's going to want Arcane Boots just for the extra mana delivered via Tether. He doesn't need to get the mech. There's already a mech up on the Viper, so I'm wondering if Demons is going to be able to get any items past the normal regeneration types.
I'd like to see a Vlad's for the IO, in all honesty. Just such a useful tool to have for your Tiny.
Damn straight, and it will also give himself some armor. I mean, the Tiny's going to love that. The Wisp will love that. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And right now, well, Secret looking just to farm up, but he could be at threat here. I mean, you do have the IO nearby. A good Avalanche Toss combo could kill Secret, and it's going to miss.
Yeah, still they can bring in the IO and Tiny at any moment, but they're losing a tier 1 tower in mid that they really don't want to be. Jay, as well as Yamaguchi, doing quick work of that one. Timber Chain over the top coming out from the Timber Saw is going to put a little bit of damage. Silence into Brewmaster is going to be able to blink away straight out after that. So it's going to be a tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade, which in all honesty I think favors Mineski. And now jumping for a Time Walk in mid. Chronosphere, ooh, a little sketchy. Doesn't land immediately. He's going to be able to juke away from that Mystic Flare, and we'll be able to bring down the Timber Saw. Relocate in from the Tiny IO. Avalanche Toss going to crater the Lich. Now looking towards Jay with the Mask of Madness activated, at least for the first part of that. Is going to take quite a bit of damage, but Time Walk away is going to keep him safe. Brewmaster split going into Kira. Kira is going to be dropping with that Fire Panda on him. He should be killed off. He's going to instead split the focus. Fire Panda is going to seal the deal, however. Toss again onto R this time around. is going to drop the Venge low, but not low enough. He needs one more attack, and with the phase boost movement speed, he is going to be able to run down that poor support. Okay, down back to the ground. They find the Brewmaster over in the sidelines. Yamaguchi should be able to get out of here with a handful of blinks, but in the meantime, Secret doing his best to push down the tier 1 towers. He had nothing to do with that fight.
Yeah, if Secret could have rotated into that one with the mischance, maybe they could have looked for more, but I think the most important thing for Mineski is these kills that they are getting. I mean, the Void survived that one, so he can start building towards it, as well as the Troll. BKBs. You get BKBs, you win this game, potentially, for Mineski.
I honestly think Secret not being there is really bad for Mineski, because he is also
in agreement for that, in agreement for that. But getting a BKB up for both of the cores for Mineski is certainly a very important thing.
And it's also interesting to see the mech picked up by him, especially considering there's no arcane boots for the team. He's not going to have the mana to use this consistently. He throws one of each axes, an ultimate and mech, and he's completely dry. In fact, he doesn't even have enough to do that.
Well, I suppose the Aquila's going to help out a little bit in terms of regeneration, but he
in the
needs...
middle of a fight, though, he needs at least one activation of arcane boots.
Yeah, he needs at least one activation, as you correctly state, but I wonder... I'm trying to think if there's any item he's going to pick up that's going to give him any int or any stat like that, since generally on Troll, BKB, that's going to give you strength, it's not going to help you in mana. You'll go for, say, crit or butterfly or something like an MKB, which don't help you either. If he's relying on straight stat growth, int for a Troll Warlord, he's got, what, I think 1 int per level, actually. Yeah, he's got 1 int per level.
Terrible.
That's rubbish.
Prior to the change to Mechanism mana cost, I did like Mech on Troll, but right now it just feels like it's so terrible. Drums are almost a necessity. Chronosphere up towards top. They found themselves a pretty easy pick-off onto the Timber Saw, and they will be able to bring him down. The Scar's Mage is close, but not close enough. That's not a death with the Bloodstone, fortunately enough for the Timber, but it's still unfortunate that he falls. Set up by an Invis rune on Jay.
Yeah, and right now we have the BKB pretty much almost complete for the Troll right now. He's only the Ogre Club away, and that's actually slightly odd, the fact that he's not gone for the Ogre Club earlier than this point, but I suppose he's all about the damage right now, considering if he can get a Bash Lord going, then he can easily bring down a target, but still, it's an uncomfortable position for Mineski to be playing from, considering Roshan down in favor of DG, and well, Aghanims for the Tiny. There's the BKB for the Faceless Void. That's going to certainly help out in the near future, but they still have to now deal with Wave, and Wave is starting to get scary. He only needs attack speed now. Manta would be nice. AC would be nice. He's already got the movement speed from his ultimate plus the phase boots, plus the drum. He can chase better than pretty much any other hero on the map right now.
Yeah, more or less. Maybe a Blinking Brewmaster has him close, or Swap from Venge, but just as far as raw movement speed, yeah, Wave has him all beat. After this, I think Assault Cuirass could be in order for him, but yeah, we'll just have to see. With some help from the IO, he's already pretty much hitting so hard and fast. And speaking of the IO, we're still waiting on Demon's item. If he's not going to go for the Vlads, which I'd really love to see, having an extra 4-step for your team is never a bad thing. But for now, DG are just going to push down mid. They'll take a tier 2 tower very easily as Mineski not interested in fighting, even though they got the pick off with the last Chronosphere on the Timber Saw. Without Chronosphere, fighting into a Tiny, especially a Tiny with Aegis, just isn't really in the cards.
No, it isn't. And now that Bloodstone is finished on the Timber Saw, this could be the option here to maybe push high ground, but it's going to be a very hard push considering Chronosphere, Chain Frost, everything is pretty much up for the lineup of Mineski. So if they really want to push high ground, they have to do so very carefully.
Definitely. Blink in from the Brewmaster. He's going to drop a clap, but it doesn't connect onto anybody. For now, it's just a standoff. Nobody's actually going to be able to make a move. And honestly, I'd like to see DG potentially go for the tier 2 tower up towards top. Jay was looking for a big wraparound, isn't able to find it, and DG are going to pull back.
Well, if they can't risk, say, the Chronosphere coming in, they knew the Void was top when he was farming, but when he vanished off the map, it just makes you hesitate going, okay, we have to be very careful, otherwise we all get chronoed to death. And a good Chronosphere, a good 4-man Chronosphere can completely turn a game.
Definitely. Well, they are going to look down towards bottom with Wave and the IO. The rest of the heroes are up towards top. And, well, Jay, might be bumping into the Timber Saw shortly. Did the Fog actually just miss everything? It very well might have. Huh.
What's the chances of that? Then again, K in a lot of trouble. Yamaguchi plus R are going to start chipping away. Secret comes in. Now in comes the Chronosphere. However, it catches the relocating demons and wave. This is a huge set of kills going the way of Mineski. They managed to bring down the IO demons. And now you've got the Tiny stuck in the whirlwind. While that's going on, you've got the Timbersaw falling. There's nothing he can do. The Skywrath Mage is going to be the next one. Kier just gets beat down. This is a triple kill for Jay. He is going nuts. Now Wave is the only one still standing. Now the silence is off. Time Walk, are they going to go for the Tiny? No, they're actually disengaging.
He still has Aegis, mind you, and I don't think they killed him twice, so I think they just played that really well. They ignore the Tiny, and rightfully so. They focused on the IO, and a Tiny without that light bulb isn't nearly as scary, and they'll be able to take a pretty convincing fight. After that engagement, it's going to be a full crit up for Jay, and is really a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that's quite scary, and he's also got that Mask of Madness complete for a while now as well, so he's got the attack speed, he's got the damage, and now all he needs to do is land the Chronospheres. Like that Chronosphere in the dire jungle, just catching the relocating heroes is such a big thing. A Chrono like that can just ruin a fight.
Yeah, it really can. And it's something that they need to be careful of.
Mid lane, Oa. Wave was looking for the combo, but got stunned out perfectly by R, defending his teammate there, so quite nice. But still, look at Wave. He's just being very aggressive on the tower, just chipping away at it. Does tank the tower a bit, but he does have that all-important Aegis. So we're looking for the next big fight here in the mid lane. Do we have a Chronosphere? Not for 30 seconds. And that's going to be the downside here from Mineski. But swap back onto K. Oh, and he evaporates. K cannot stand versus the combination of R, Secret, and Yamaguchi. And now do we get a chase going? Wave does eat the Drunken Haze, but they're really just looking for the Timbersaw. DG, they need to evacuate. But if Timber falls, this is going to be quite nasty because he's down to 6 Bloodstone charges. This is going to take him down to 4. And I don't see him escaping that one. He should go down in the tree line. In the meantime, in the other part of the fight, Timbersaw did actually manage to suicide. Kier, if he gets bashed here, that's horrible, and he does go down. I suppose this is Team Bashlord, Troll, and Faceless Void, so now they're going to come back and get demons. There is no escape from the relentless aggression of Mineski.
Again, Tiny survives, but everybody else falls. And really, Tiny isn't doing that much. The Drunken Haze constantly coming out from the Brewmaster is being really annoying for me. Just isn't able to get that damage off. He desperately needs a BKB or some way to deal with that. MKB might be in the cards for him later on in the game, but yeah, right now it's Mineski just to constantly take these fights, and that was entirely without a Chronosphere. They now have Chrono and Split, so it's their turn to make the aggressive push.
And how the tables have turned. They were at their base, now they're knocking on the enemy's door, and, well, these aggressive wards coming out of DG seem completely wasted right now.
Yeah, definitely. It really feels like Mineski are starting to control this game, and I guess you just really can't count out Jay's carry. All of these heroes on Mineski's side have been playing pretty darn well, and all of these engagements knowing exactly what their role is. Good defensive swaps coming out from the Venge, the Split just constantly making sure that Tiny's able to accomplish nothing. And it's really showing when it comes to net worth. The only hero that's able to actually keep up is Wave, and the next highest on DG, that's the Timbersaw, and honestly his gold is, I can't say wasted. Bloodstone's an awesome item to have on Timbersaw, but after dying twice, he's not able to sustain with that Bloodstone as much as he'd like to.
And you mentioned net worth. Looking at the graph, what was a 2k lead, well, what was at one point a 4k lead for DG, now is nearly a 2k lead for Mineski. I mean, this is not over by any stretch of the imagination, so this could still go either way. It's still a very close game. That's what I've been enjoying about these games so far that we've cast today. All of them have been very close up until near the end. So Jay will continue to farm up, and if they can continue to feed the gold into this Faceless Void, it's going to be quite nasty for DG to fight into. Then again, if the Tiny can finish up some form of attack speed, and it seems Manta is his option here, he can do equally turn the tables and do a large amount of damage.
Definitely. Well, still anybody's game. It's really hard to count out a Tiny IO combination. And
Backdoor ratting, you reckon? Yeah.
Definitely.
I was thinking, oh god, they're not going to. They decided to go with the rat combination for IO, but still, it can work in a team fight, and team fight I have no problem with. Just as I said earlier, I need an emote for Twitch, which is kill the rat.
Well, right now they haven't Oh my goodness.
They haven't resorted to it.
Resorted, yeah, that was the word I was looking for. My goodness, it is getting late. English is starting to become hard. Middle lane, with the Mask of Madness on, as well as Secret, activating Battle Trance, Tier 2 tower is going to fall very quickly, but GG. Knocking on Mineski's front door, they should be able to defend this very quickly. It's pretty much just a straight-up win for Mineski, as they get a Tier 2 tower for free.
Well, if they can keep getting towers free like that, that's going to be quite nice, but they do have to at least keep an eye on their buildings, considering we know how quickly a Tiny can shred a building with an Aghanims. It's not exactly pleasant.
Yeah, definitely. It's a Blink Dagger up for Timbersaw now, and it's a nice item to have for sure. I'm not sure if this is the right choice for this game, however. It's really nice when you're ahead and when you're able to find those kills aggressively, but this time around, I think it's probably more important that Timbersaw actually survive through the fights, because right now he just doesn't feel tanky at all when you're looking at the troll bashing him down and the Faceless Void, who already has his crit online.
Yeah, I'd be completely agreed to that. And well, I'm wondering what Faceless Void's actually going to build next. Is he just going great to crit? Yeah, he is. He's got his full Daedalus. So after the full Daedalus, Butterfly, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's completely acceptable for him. Yeah. I don't see anything else that really comes to mind that he immediately needs. Right now, he's completely online. Inside the Chronosphere, he can focus down 1, if not 2 targets very fast. I mean, you just look, he's critting for 530, and then he gets that, if he gets a couple of time locks in there, and with the extra attack speed from Troll, everybody's just going to evaporate. I think he's pretty much all online, and from here on out, any big item is just icing on the cake.
Considering you've got the attack speed from Troll, part of me wants to say go for an MKB or just flat damage, so it can work out quite nicely. Still, MKB would also deter the Viper from going for any form of evasion, or say, if there's any threat of a Heaven's Halberd, and oh no, not again!
I think we're kind of in for the long haul with Mineski here. Even though they're playing well, there is just always that background issue of there's connection issues, and there's nothing we can do about it.
As I said earlier, trying to connect past the Great Firewall of China can cause problems when connecting to the Perfect World servers. But Mineski are always good sports about it, and honestly, I cannot fault them for that.
No, definitely not. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just frustrating that that's an issue in the first place.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it disappoints me slightly, but that's only from technical position, from my work outside of gaming. Still, from where we stand in this one, with the edge that Mineski are starting to build for themselves, I'm wondering when we're going to start seeing some objective gaming. We do see the 5-man rotation down towards that bottom lane. They could look to bring down this tier 1 tower on the bottom and maybe look to force the tier 2. With that, they could force relocates to try to defend this, and there's the reconnection. So, fingers crossed, touch wood, no more disconnects. Everyone say it with me.
No more disconnects. Please.
It was rhetorical, Grandis.
It doesn't... Okay. That's fine. I have nothing. Okay, tier 1 tower down towards bottom. Mineski should be able to take this very quickly. With just a troll in the front line, so he'll be able to smack that one down. They do have to worry about top, however. The tier 2 tower is getting jumped. They time walk forward, looking for a chrono opportunity. Is Jay. They look for the clap. Timber Chain away is going to keep Timbersaw safe. Looking Gust of Shot to slow down the Void, but he's still running at 332 movement speed with that Mask of Madness activation. There's another time walk cooling down. It looks like he's going to bump into Pork here. He's going to be crit down, my goodness, 3-shot by the Faceless Void here at 20 minutes into the game.
It's Jay. We've learned not to doubt Jay. His crits are on demand.
Absolutely. Well, that's about it for now, although potential action down towards bottom with an Invis rune on Secret.
With an Invis rune for Secret, what can we look and hope for here? Oh, he's stalking K. He could really go Bashlord on someone if he finds an easy target, and they're stalking Wave right now. Bringing down the Tiny could be a huge thing, and here we go. Battle Trance there. Oh, he misses the axes, and Wave is just going to run away so quickly. But it seems Roshan is still the order of business for the rest of the team.
Yeah, and they should be able to take it very easily. If the Vengeful Spirit was there to open up with a stun, could have been very easy. And, yeah, They realized that the Aya wasn't there, but right now we have a potential Roche fight a brewing. Roshan's going to fall, that's Aegis for Jay, and actually scratch that. No fight, just going to be Roshan going the way of Mineski, even though EG were in position. It was already too late for them to actually think of contesting.
On the upside for Dream Gaming, they do get themselves the tier 2 tower on that top lane.
Yeah, definitely just getting a little bit of something for now. Secret going to pick himself up a Diffusal Blade. Interesting choice here. What is he actually looking to purge off from the enemy team? I don't see anything super huge.
It's not so much what he can purge off, it's more he's going to hold a target still and kill them outright.
And it's also going to make the Wisp's life super, super sad. Ghost Scepter on Demons is the item that he chose to go for. Yeah,
that's why we've got the Diffusal. I love this choice out of Secret.
Oh, I'm not sure if I like the one on the Faceless Void though, but we can't question Jay.
No, we can't question Jay. And to be fair, Diffusal Blade is an item that doesn't get the respect it deserves. You've got to consider how much a Diffusal Blade actually costs, yeah? It costs, I believe, just over 3,000 gold, 3,300-ish. For what it does, and for the amount of agility it gives, that is huge. 20 really agility at level 1, 6 intelligence as well. Now we get the Time Walk Forward. Are we looking for the Chronosphere onto the Timber? No, he's just going to drop the Diffusal Blade. Oh, he's so slow with that. Now we get the Chrono. He's going to throw it anyway, just to ensure the kill.
And he'll be able to get it. What you said definitely holds true. I love getting Diffusal on Meepo and Dro, all these very agility-reliant heroes. But for Faceless Void, I think going for hard damage would have been a little bit better, or Butterfly, if you want to go for the combination of both agility and defense. The biggest issue I have with Diffusal Blade is it doesn't scale perfectly well into the late. So
when you run out of charges, I can understand that. But when you get the level 2, 35 int on a single slot that costs less than 4.2k total, including the upgrade, is a very nice purchase. How many other items can you think that cost over 4k that give you that amount? There's only
Ethereal Blade,
2 Ethereal Blade, and the Butterfly Technic. No, Butterfly not strictly, but for that amount of gold, it's perfect for this purpose, and I do like the pickup. But here we go, another fight breaking out. Swap defensively. R's going to be able to escape that one, but now in comes the bloody Bash Lords. They bring down the Viper. Now they're going to keep chasing. They're looking for demons. Oh, Ghost Scepter. Nope. Diffusal Blade. There's going to be nothing to do there. Jay, beyond godlike, double kill. Another Diff Blade, just to purge away these multiple Ghost Scepters. Ghost Scepter versus Diff Blade. Diff Blade wins, and now they're going to try to bring down the Timbersaw in the side, but Wave going to have to hobble out of this one. They're just ignoring the Tiny, and I don't believe it, but it's working.
I think it's completely fine. Like, the Tiny, they just throw Drunken Haze onto him, and they run around him. Like, it actually doesn't matter. If you take away the IO, Tiny becomes much less scary, and this BKB, it probably should have come out years ago for Tiny if he actually wanted to take engagements, and now it's probably a little too late. His tier 3 tower is being sieged.
Yeah, this tower will melt. In comes the Battle Trance. Nothing will stand up against that. These buildings will absolutely melt. They're going to secure themselves a full set of racks. Mineski with an absolute show of force. That is the kind of power their lineup has when that Battle Trance and everything just lines up.
And they still have the Aegis up on Jay and a Chronosphere. Like, he didn't actually have to use it for that last fight. It's absurd. They're going to Viper Strike up. They get an Avalanche onto 3. The Cleave is coming out there a little bit, but not enough. Secret's probably going to drop, and indeed will do so. Both the BKB on Jay, he's going to focus down KK, going to be dropped. They look for his wave now, finally going to start focusing down this Tiny. However, he's going to be returning in kind. Jay going to lose his Aegis here. Now with the split on the Brewmaster, however, he is going to be able to drop a boulder into K. The Fire Panda is already down, and the Earth Panda is standing strong, but not for long. His wave is chunking it down. He needs to get out there quickly, as that Earth Panda not looking too healthy, and he is going to die in the duration of the split. However, they get a tier 3 tower and a full lane in barracks. They probably could have backed out after the first, but still, it's not bad for Mineski.
They hung around, got another tier 3. Thing is, Wave just proved the fact that he can still fight if his team are there to help him and lock targets down. Because a lot of targets can escape Wave right now. Wave may be one of the fastest heroes on the map, sure, in terms of raw movement speed, but there's swaps, there's blink daggers, there's time walks. There are a plethora of ways to escape Wave.
Yeah, there really are. Oh my goodness.
Speaking of escape, You're going to have to suicide to escape that one. Timbersaw has to get the hell out of there, and it's going to lose more Bloodstone charges. He only has 2 Bloodstone charges on the Timber. This is not where you want to be.
No, absolutely not. At this point, getting just the Soul Booster probably would have been just as effective, if not more. It is a sad game for the Timber, and his time to shine is pretty much all over. 3, 10, and 9. He just wasn't able to put that solid start to good use. It wasn't the end-all be-all by any means, but now this item I can definitely get behind for Jay. Refresher, as if 1 chrono wasn't bad enough. This is pretty much the end of DG really hoping to take a 5-on-5 fight.
Yeah, I mean, 1 go, that's painful. They haven't even needed chrono in a few of these fights, but 2 chronos, that's the final nail in the coffin in my mind. And we can take a quick look at the gold graph, I believe. If we take a look at this, just look at the rapid rise of gold in these last few fights in favor of Mineski. Over 7,500 gold lead, and this is only going to get worse from this point, really. Sure, you still have that potential to tiny rat with the Wisp, but the golden experience advantage going the way of Mineski is fairly large.
And it's not even about the raw numbers in the advantage, because honestly, that's not an unsurmountable lead. It's about what these items actually mean. That advantage is Jay. It's all about the items in this Faceless Void. Right now, he's pretty much unmanageable. And even though the items on Tiny are nice, Phase Drums, it's fairly early game oriented. The Manta style really hasn't done much. And all he has pretty much to speak for his troubles is that BKB. So Wave, although he does a lot of damage, just isn't able to really stick, so we'll see. It's going to be about DG trying to delay out, trying to get this Tiny bigger.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of other important items coming online. Yamaguchi gets his full Aghanim, so he's going to be able to use all of his abilities within his Primal Split, so we're going to see multiple Thunderclaps, more Drunken Haze. It's a good item on the Brewmaster, and I do quite like the pickup. But I wonder what we're seeing on the other side of the battlefield here. For Wave, he's going to be building up towards an AC, and that's going to help him out in terms of dealing with these, well, Bash Lords, for lack of a better word, on the lineup of Mineski. They're all agility heroes, shred their armor. It's going to be quite nice, considering if we take a look at Troll quickly, look at his armor. He's got 35 armor.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, the Assault Cuirass minus armor really isn't going to be doing
It'll help, but it's not going to be huge.
Well, and then you had Ice Armor on top of that. Yeah, it's not great.
No, the Ice Armor from the Lich is quite a large impact here, and I do like the Lich pick. I really wish we'd see it more often. Thing is, Oa is one hell of a Lich, and just being able to get the Ice Armor on all targets causes so many problems for this large physical damage with no negative armor lineup from DG. Their only real negative armor would be an AC when he completes it. There is no other source. Imagine against the Slardar, though, or the Dazzle would be a good pickup here against this kind of, well, this kind of high agility armor plus frost armor. I mean, the same applies to the Faceless Void. He's got 17 armor alone with 0 armor items, all from agility.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. Chop, chop, chop. Tower is going to be dropped by Mineski. And from here on out, it's pretty much just wait, go for the next Roshan, and then push high ground again. It's really DG that are forced to try to do something, because playing it passively, although it's the safest way to go about doing things, isn't going to win you this game. You need to put pressure on the enemy side, and there just really isn't an opening to do so.
I mean, good relocate ganks and just, well, relocating more aggressively in the early game could have helped out, but right now it's very hard for DG to find some opening to come back. But still, it's going to be a Roshan here in favor of Mineski, and this, I believe, was with Cheese as well?
I would think so. Who's actually picked that up? It's Cheese on Yamaguchi and Aegis for Secret.
Yeah, with the Cheese as well, I think it's about time we see another high ground push here by Mineski. And in the last one, they overstayed their welcome a little bit and ended up losing a few heroes. That's what the spike on the graph was. So I'm wondering if they're going to hang around again, or if they're just going to get the objective and back out. Personally, I feel like they can actually stay around this time. They have that item edge.
Yeah, they do. And we have yet to see the refresher used by Jay, and right now, Double Chrono is... it's scary, and I have a bad feeling about this next fight for DG.
I think that's a bit of an understatement. I don't feel comfortable for DG either. A bad feeling? I have a terrible feeling that death is on its way. I mean, we haven't seen Double Chrono yet. He's had that refresher for a good, what, 8 minutes. He's not needed to use it.
Yeah, he really hasn't. They're going to start the siege. Down the bottom lane, they push through mid, and right now DG are completely bottled up inside their base. They'll be able to mop up the creep waves well enough, but will they be able to mop up all of them at the same time? Top lane pushing in strongly, and now Jay waiting. He's going to go for the time walk in. He's going to assassinate K, bashing him down with the crits. It's enough. Io going to come in just by himself, however. There's a Chronosphere going to be in just onto Wave, and Wave looks like he's going to drop. They don't have the BKB up on Jay. He's going to refresh. He has the BKB swapped up by the Vengeful Spirit. They look forward first. They have another Chronosphere. It's not going to catch out the Tiny, but it's enough to kill off the Timbersaw. They need to start focusing him down. My goodness, I'm lagging out a little bit as the Lich Chain Frost bounces back and forth through all of the arrows coming out from GG. They buy back on the Timbersaw, but it's too late to save their mid barracks. In the meantime, while Faceless Void was doing all that, they were going to town. And it looks like Secret's not going to put an end to that. Tier 3 towers getting chopped away. They blink forward, time walk forward, looking towards the Timbersaw, going to be diffused up as Jay's taking quite a bit of damage, but a couple of backtracks on the auto attacks coming out from the Tiny are going to be enough to keep his life up. He is going to be tossed up with the amplification coming out from the Skyreth Mage. My goodness, it is going to be a little bit problematic there. He has the boots to travel, however, he's wanting to rejoin this fight. It looks like he's going to be able to do so. Secret still has analysis ages. He is going to do so now, but they bring in Tiny. They bring forward. They get the clap. Crit down on the Skyreth Mage. Buyback on the Io. They want to keep on going. Wave going to town onto both Jay. Jay, if he dies here, it could be huge. He's dropping low. They just need a little bit more damage. Lifesteal from Mask of Madness. It is going to keep him alive. He bashes the Timbersaw. Deny. Going to keep him alive. Oh my goodness. That man fight couldn't have gone any worse. Secret going to be dropped down, and he is going to survive for a little bit longer because of the mech, but not long enough. Mineski come out with another lane of barracks ahead, but that last fight, my goodness.
Wave backed out at one point. If he would have stayed and swung a single time more, that would have been a kill onto Jay off the back of a buyback. And a dieback at this point in the game can be such a nightmare. It
really
would give an opening for the Wisp and the Tiny to go, oh, relocate. That's a nice barracks you have there. It would be a shame if something would happen to it. At least that's a possibility. You always have to keep in mind Tiny Io.
Yeah, you definitely do. And that really got me scared for Mineski there. Jay playing things really fast and loose, but now he does have that upgrade Diffusal Blade, and he's completely capped out. Going to have double Chronosphere up in 80 seconds as well. But Jay needs to exercise a little bit of caution. Although this build does a lot of damage and it's really scary to play up against, he is fairly susceptible to just being right-clicked down by the Tiny, especially now that we do have that AC up for Wave.
Yeah, the right-click out of Tiny is ridiculous. Let's take a look at his physical right-click, shall we? 386. And then you've got to consider there is that negative armor and, of course, the armor on the other side. But 386 right-click damage with how many attacks a second? 0.79 seconds per attack. So he's going to chew through targets so quickly. And honestly, I would love to see the drum be sold here and either a Satanic or a Butterfly picked up. Not so much for the evasion, but for the attack speed. Tiny gets almost all of his damage through his ultimate. And then it's just attack speed all the way from there on in.
Honestly, I think the biggest item pickup for Tiny at this point wouldn't actually be picked up by the Tiny. It would be picked up by demons. Please get a Vlad's.
Yeah, definitely. I would completely agree to a Vlad's pickup. We have a Vlad's on the lineup for Mineski, I believe. Yes, it's on Secret still. So a Vlad's onto Demons would just allow the Tiny to go toe-to-toe with so many heroes, assuming Demons can survive, and that's a big if. Then again, oh, we could have a problem here. Wave, he goes down, unfortunately, and the relocate is there, trying to buy some time. K comes in, Demons is there, they're trying to go toe-to-toe, but Jay is just going to chew Demons to pieces. Double kill for Jay, and, well, K needs to get the hell out of dodge, otherwise he's going to go down as well. Then again, Chronosphere going to continue. Wow, that is some relentless aggression from Jay. He's just killing everyone. Was that Blink Dagger by K? Yes, it was. He's got a Sight Device as well. There's the Diffusal Blade, though. This is going to be an ultra kill for Jay if he can stay on target, but he's just being slowed now. The Kite is there. Wave is back alive now as well. All it takes is a good few right clicks and Wave can get the kill here, but Magic Missile and Swap from R going to buy more than enough time. And in the sidelines of this fight, you do have Yamaguchi going toe-to-toe and Secret chewing the base apart. The tier 3s is down. The racks are falling. This is going to be mega creeps at this rate, or is it? In comes K, gets that Sight Device onto Secret, trying to bring down the Troll but that troll is so hard to kill. Now you've got a Chain Frost bouncing around as well. Now Secret turns around, starts bashing left, right, and center. He's going to fall. There's no chance that Viper can survive. Now in comes Wave, trying to save his final racks. I don't think he's going to be able to save it. Secret's giving him the run around, and now you do have, of course, Yamaguchi getting chewed apart by the Timbersaw, and Kier on that Skywrath Mage. Trying to bring down that Brewmaster, though, isn't an easy task, and, well, Timbersaw is going to have to get the hell out of there. Even with all of that armor, he is still dying slowly. Yamaguchi is so damn tanky, though, and he only has a BKB, an Axe, and a Blink Dagger, but now in comes Wave, and there's no way he's going to survive that. They hold their racks. What in Divinity's Edge just happened?
My goodness. Okay, so throughout that entire fight that you were commentating, Faceless Void is like man fighting the Tiny. He gets backtracks on these attacks from Mask of Madness, and it was space created while they're going for their first racks, but after the fact, they hold, but only by a thread. Okay, so even though that fight is technically a win, I suppose, because DG didn't lose the game immediately, it's not. They have to buy back on the Tiny as well as the Skywrath Mage, and that's a range barracks that survived. At this point, Mineski, they can just hit it like once or twice every like every so often, like every creep wave, and it's going to eventually die. Jump down towards bottom,
Jay
BKB.
just goes in.
That's it. Yeah, he's going to Chronosphere behind him, catches out K, he's going to get the mech creeps, and that's mission accomplished. Even if he... yeah, he's going to be just fine. He'll be able to get out of here, time walk, TP out, and... now, game is hard. Game is really hard.
I mean, technically they can survive against Mega Creeps. I mean, they have Wave, for Christ's sake. Oh, he's got himself a Demon Edge.
Go Divine.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He has to go Divine at this point. I mean, he can technically hold against Mega Creeps. That is something to keep in mind. He has enough right-click. Question being, can he get that Divine in time?
Go Daedalus.
You think?
I think the effective damage is probably better for Daedalus, even. It's not better, but it's more stable, and it's close enough to where I don't think you have to consider Divine. He has to go MKB, actually, to deal with all this garbage. At this point, they need to end the game now, and they're going to try to do so. Yamaguchi is going to be dropped low, but a defensive swap and Ghost Scepter from R is going to keep him safe, and, well, Benj is going to give her life away for the betterment of the team, but right now, this is the desperation move coming out from
Jay.
DG.
Look at Jay. He's hiding up on that high ground. He's looking for a Chronosphere.
Is he going to be able to find it, however? He just jumps in, looking for the bashes. He's going to find it. BKB popped, and you're not going anywhere.
Bash Lord. He is just chewing. That was 5 bashes there. That was insane. Primal Split going to be cancelled out by Wave and combo, but there's no chance of surviving that, and you still got Jay going huge in this fight. He's going to start running away, and while this is going on, of course, the base is going to be taking some damage, but Jay gets hexed up. Can they bring down the Faceless Void? Going to be Chrono number 2 off the back of the refresher. Will kill demons on the way out as well. And, well, Jay will leg it. He doesn't want any more to do with this. And now you've got, of course, racks fall, tier 4's falling. Racks are all gone. And Kier trying to hold this against Mega Creeps. This is not the place you want your Skywrath Mage.
Oh,
but now in comes Wave. He's going to be able to hold this for now. And do we have Rapier money? Not quite. Part of me wants to say MKB, though, but I think he has to go Rapier. He has to take the chance.
Mid lane, K. Rapier or not, they're going to be able to take down this Viper so easily. They're going to not get a bash. Doesn't matter. Does he actually survive? My goodness. Okay, Viper's a lucky duck. Time walk forward, but the blink away from Viper is going to keep him safe. But no, Wave not going to be so lucky. Bash down. Jay's going to lose his life. He has buyback boots of travel. He really wants to use it, and he is going to do so. They want to end this now.
He exploded under the damage of Wave and the Mystic Flare of Kier, though. So there is still fight potential. If, and I stress, if DG can keep themselves healthy. Considering Tier 4, how much health it's got? It's got 100 left. The Tier 4 is going to fall to that wave of Mega Creeps, but where is the lineup from Mineski? They're deciding they want to be 100%. They're going to get themselves another Roshan, another Cheese. Who are they going to give this to? What do they drop to pick this up? They drop the mechanism from Secret and pick up the Aegis on the Troll Warlord. Are they just going to all in and just go for the throne?
Honestly, I don't think they even need to do that. Like, these creeps are already enough to keep them at bay. We are going to see Rapier money for the Tiny.
Courier's flying towards the secret shop, and look where all the...
That's Rapier.
It's a Rapier. I've been wanting a rapier game in a while. They do not disappoint me. This is going to be a show.
Okay, so you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna get the rapier, he's gonna drop it, and then it's gonna be over. Okay.
You think?
Yeah. It's gonna be so anticlimactic. I hope it's not. I really...
I hope it's not. I really want to see a rapier turnaround. This is going to be fun.
I really hope so, too. Either way, we have a Vladimir's up for Timbersaw as well, so the man-fighting potential of Wave is pretty immense. Let's see if it's enough. Swap down towards bottom. They're going to get nothing. Never mind. Blink away from Viper.
Well, Viper with a blink is an unusual thing, in all honesty. I did not expect to see a blink, but it does make some sense in this one.
Yeah, it definitely does. I like the choice, and having the blink scythe initiation is really impactful.
Well, with this rapier online, how much damage does Tiny actually have per right click? Over 700 damage. Holy hell.
700 damage or not, doesn't matter if he actually can't hit stuff. He's drunken hazed up, and yeah, he's losing the fight against the creeps. Either way, Ancient exposed. DG, they need to fight, and they need to fight now. And what Mineski are doing, although it's not super flashy or anything, eventually it's going to win them this game. Because right now, DG are having their hands full just with the creeps. If they as much as show their face and do this, blink in onto Wave, he's forced to use the BKB, but he's not sticking on target. They'll just focus down the throne. They have Chronospheres galore. They're going to pop the first BKB. They're going to look for the Chronosphere. They're going to pop it, and it's just going to be onto DG. Wave not getting focused down. They have the Refresher and the secondary Chronosphere. He's jumping around, not doing anything. Scythed up. They try to focus down this Void. He's going to pop the BKB. Secondary Chronosphere. They're going to focus down onto the Ancient. Who cares about that Rapier on Wave? It actually doesn't matter if you can't move anywhere. He's going to turn for a couple more auto attacks. Life still coming out from the Vlads. They're going to be able to turn to kill the Void. The Ancient, however, is too low. 600 HP. Can they actually do this? K dropping. Secret is going to be able to get that kill. Just focus down the Ancient. They will be able to do so, as that is going to be GG. Well played.
That was a game. I enjoyed that one quite heavily. It was on the back foot for DG for a lot of it, but they were fighting so hard to try to stay in it. It was a good show from these teams, and that, I believe, is a 2-0 to Mineski at the end of this series.
Definitely, and that's not it for the evening as well.
No, it's not.
We are going to have Can't Say Whips up against Immortal Magneto up next, so don't go anywhere here on HeflaTV. If you enjoy the casting you see here, you can follow the casters individually at GrandesV and at Mr. Blackadder, and Twitter and Facebook at HeflaTV for the full casting label as a whole. And the VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke if you want to watch or share these games with anybody else. That said, we're going to be moving into the next series as soon as it's up, so hope to see you
Game
soon.
is already up in pre-game. We have
Sweet.
to jump in immediately.
Okay.
There is no break.
There is no break! See you shortly.